You may often hear about energy healers or woo-woo people talking about using crystals. But what is the true science behind it? Maybe you're religious. What is the biblical backing to using crystals? Is it evil? Are we allowed to use them? Are they talked about in the Bible? And if you're new to your journey of crystals, how do you use them? These are all subjects we're going to cover today in this exciting video. So make sure you grab some popcorn, pull up a comfy chair. I have an amazing video for you today, and welcome to my channel. Here on this channel, we explore and dive into supernatural truths, breaking them down into simple, achievable, actionable steps for elevated daily living. Welcome. So let's dive in. No procrastination here. What is the science behind crystals? How do they actually work? And should we even be why should we be using them? There is a lot of discrepancy. I'm going to be honest here. If you Google, do crystals actually work? There's so much discrepancy. You have woo-woo teachers stating to use them and that they're great and their frequency, and then you have some scientists who are like, it's just a placebo effect. So let's break it down here. First off, what I want to state is we are all vibrational beings. Even solid matter, going back to chemistry class, even everything that is solid, this pen, this book, our bodies, we all vibrate, just it's at a slower rate than a liquid or a gas. That's all that's changing in those things. As we change state, is the vibration simply speeds up. So we all emit vibrations, and humans even give off radiation. Trees give off radiation. Everything's giving off radiation. Everything is vibrating. Everything is frequency. In this, crystals, quartz crystals in particular, are often used in electronics. They're used in radios, in GPS, in our watches, in our computers, in our cell phones. Why? Crystals have an ability to vibrate at a precise frequency when an electric current is applied to them. And there's this electronic company which actually broke it down in a very great way for me, Gold Edge Electronics, which has been around for over 25 years, supplying crystals and different products for frequency devices, states that crystals maintain an indispensable role in maintaining the consistent rhythm of our digital lives. Quartz crystals produce stable, reliable vibrations in frequency control products. So if crystals can produce stable, reliable vibrations in frequency products, and we are humans of frequency, do we not think that they could possibly have a real effect on our bodies? So I can't scientifically prove it, but the science proves it. Take it as you will, trust your own intuition. Now, what about connecting with the Bible? How are crystals talked about in the Bible? Well, do I have something for you? There are actually many references to crystals in the Bible. There is the Breastplate of Aaron, or the Breastplate of Israel, particularly mentioned in Exodus 28:15-30, where there were 12 precious stones that each represented the 12 tribes of Israel. There's Solomon's temple. In 2 Chronicles 3, Solomon adorned God's temple with precious stones, and there was a very strict instructions as to what crystals were to be used in different parts of the temple. In Revelations 21:18-20, it describes the foundations of New Jerusalem being decorated with precious stones. Why are these stones and these crystals being very specifically used in these holy places, other than to possibly shift our vibration and to help connect with God? An even more fascinating reference is Ezekiel 28:13, where it talks about the Garden of Eden and man in the Garden of Eden. States, "You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you: carnelian, chrysolite, and emerald, topaz, onyx and jasper, lapis lazuli, turquoise, and beryl. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared." Now, The interesting thing is, depending upon the translation that you read, some of them state that this was a robe that you were adorned with. But also, if you go back talking about Adam and Eve, they were originally naked in the Garden of Eden. And if you look at the King James Version, it says, "The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created." The New American Standard Version says, "And the gold, the workmanship of your settings and sockets, was in you. On the day that you were created, they were prepared." Now, the interesting thing is gold is highly conductive, meaning electricity can easily flow through it with minimal resistance. And these crystals were inlaid in gold. It also talks about your pipes, your settings, your mountings. And so it almost sounds like they are talking about these crystals were inlaid in pipes within you to conduct energy. And so these crystals very likely could have referenced the chakras, and the properties of these crystals could help transform your energy and connect you to your original divine frequency that you were born with. Not saying, speculating, all mere speculation, but it is very interesting when we actually dive into it. And the fact, how I like to reference it, is that these crystals are all a divine attribute of God. We have to consider the fact that before the Holy Spirit came to us, when we're looking at the Old Testament, when we're looking at Moses or anyone who's coming before God, they had to either cover their faces, or God had to kind of hide himself. Before, when he revealed himself, he kind of like passed behind a mountain and the glory was revealed to him in that way. They couldn't fully take in the whole aspect of God because it was too much for their body to be able to handle. And so crystals are a great way to break down those attributes, for us to be exposed to God's attributes, to his power, to his divinity, to his healing in a manageable way for us to handle, to integrate. So by using these crystals, we do not worship the crystal themselves, but we use them to reveal to us parts of God, and therefore worshiping God and using the crystal as a tool. That's the important thing to keep in mind. We do not worship the crystal itself, but we use the crystal to point to God and to help us develop a more intimate relationship with God by getting to know him through the crystals. So now that we have kind of this basic foundation to understand that we're all frequencies, to know that crystals have a frequency and can present a divine attribute of God to us, or a healing aspect of God to us, and that they are even referenced and utilized in very specific ways in the Bible, how do we use them? So there are a few ways that I really like to work with crystals, but first, when I work with a crystal, I love to say a prayer of gratitude over it, an acknowledgement of God over it. So it can be a simple prayer such as, "Dear Heavenly Father, can you please cleanse this crystal, and thank you for allowing me to have more courage, more trust, more security, more healing, whatever attribute from you through this crystal." The crystal is basically acting as a conduit from God to you to transform something inside of you. So first, whenever you start working with the crystal, say a little prayer. It doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple, but make sure you give thanks and make sure you give reference to God in that prayer with the crystal. Now, 3 different ways that I like to work with crystals after you've connected with it. One is as simple as just keeping the crystal on you as you go about your day, wearing it as bracelets, wearing it as rings, or even just keeping it in your pocket. You can also keep them around your house to apply these healing frequencies to your house, to apply more courage, more calm, more peace, more cleansing around your house. You can put it under your pillow, whatever you want. Listen to your intuition. Develop a relationship with God through these crystals by using the crystals to point to him and draw yourself closer to him, to serve as a reminder of God with these crystals. A deeper way of working with them that I love to use with my clients and that I myself use daily is having a small meditation while placing the crystals directly on you. You can place the crystals on your chakras, like your third eye, your throat, your heart, wherever you feel led to, and spending some time doing some breathing, maybe stating an affirmation and holding that crystal there, or laying down and placing it on you. This can also be really great to do before bed. I love using like lilac lepidolite, which is great for calming anxiety. It's a very soothing stone. Or even selenite, which is a very cleansing stone and great to discharge the energies of the day. And placing that on me before I go to bed, just doing some deep breaths. And then when I feel ready, I can remove the crystal and go to sleep. So meditate. The first one is just keeping it on you. The second one is meditating with it on your body. And the third one is going a little deeper, where you hold the crystal. This is the massive one. But you hold the crystal and you would gaze at the crystal. And in your mind, you could almost imagine like you're stepping into the core of this crystal. And before you start this meditation, you can ask God to allow this crystal to reveal divine wisdom to you. And you imagine as if you're stepping into the core of the crystal and just kind of allow your mind to wander and see where it takes you, see what it reveals to you. That's a little bit more of an advanced meditative practice. And remember, it's a practice. It takes practice, but it can also be really fun and can be a really fun journey to go on with your crystals when you start working with them further. The other thing I want to mention is that the size of the crystal does not matter. For once, size doesn't matter. If you are using them around your house, perhaps it can help to have some bigger towers just to have more frequency. But if you're just working with them intimately, size really doesn't matter. When you're going to pick out your crystals, just say a little prayer to God before you pick out a crystal and just trust your intuition, trust your connection for which ones you are drawn to. And honestly, all crystals are created in different areas and can even have the attributes of those different areas, different minerals, different energies that were happening in that time when they were formed, different sun energies, different earth energies. So really just trust what you are needing and what you are drawn to, and allow it to be playful, allow it to be an exploration, and have fun with it. If you are wanting to really start learning more about crystals itself, or figuring out which crystals for you to start using, then some great, there's lots on Google. You can just Google like what crystal is good for this or what crystal is good for that, or like, punch in the crystal itself, say crystal spiritual meaning, and that can reveal some things to you. But a little quick tip, if you know about the chakras, is that the color of the chakra can apply to the crystal. So for instance, the green heart chakra is really good for heart opening, for love, for learning to trust and, be more harmonious and at peace. And so because the heart chakra is green crystals typically embody those same traits. Or for instance, the solar plexus is yellow. So if you're really wanting to work on confidence, then working with yellow crystals could help embody those attributes of the solar plexus chakra. It's just a little fun, quick tip there. So in summary, don't forget, we are all vibration. We are all frequency. And using crystals can be a great way to harmonize our own bodies, revealing the divine attributes of God to us and revealing our own divine energetic blueprint. So if you're wanting to learn more about these, don't hesitate to send me a message. I am offering some free channeled strategy calls to figure out what you're currently working through, what your goals are, and providing simple strategic strategies. You get the point. Providing action steps for you to be able to help get there easier, faster, body, mind, and soul. So don't be afraid to reach out about inquiring about that. I also offer one-on-one coaching where we specifically directly work with crystals and work with the different supernatural truths within the Bible to elevate your life, body, mind, and soul. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I look forward to connecting with you further. Much love.